Okay, I'm introducing these, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Hello, everybody. We are back. I am Will.
I'm Kristen.
And this is So I'm Watching This Show, your twice weekly pop culture podcast where we talk about movies, TV, music, and more. And as always, this is a spoiler show. You have been warned.
We have more makeup on than usual, so it went right to our heads today, apparently.
I wasn't going to acknowledge it. I just got more beautiful overnight. I got a full 8 hours of sleep. We were switching around our schedule and how we were doing this, so I couldn't remember what I needed to establish. We are talking about the final installment in the Fear Street trilogy, Fear Street 1666.
Very exciting.
Forever.
This was fantastic. I loved this one.
Me too.
This was my favorite one.
I still think the first one's my favorite one.
Was it?
Yeah, I am that way. A lot of times the least of the things is my favorite of the thing, where the first Scream movie is still my favorite. Like the second Lord of the Rings movie is my favorite, and that's nobody's favorite. So yeah, I think the first one, but I really enjoyed all of them for sure.
Well, I think you like spending time with characters you like, and I think a lot of people really like the like exciting part, or like yada yada. But this one was my favorite for two reasons. Number one, I just liked the Salem, the like Union, the 1666 part.
It was cool. Everybody was very competent at their English accents. Brava, round of applause for these kids who all made it work. I don't know how many of them are actually British or English or something, but it worked.
Well, going in, I was sort of like, tonally, what is this going to be like?
Yeah.
Because I didn't want it to be as serious as The Witch, as like A24, but also that was part of the, like, I was sort of like, well, what's A24 through like a Netflix lens?
Sure, yeah.
Like by way of, in a very punk goes pop type of thing. They didn't trip themselves up with accuracy or authenticity.
It was fine. Everybody was wearing linen and full skirts.
Well, and again,
that's all we need.
It suited the tone of the rest of the trilogy. I like the selling point of it being the trilogy.
Yeah.
I liked the movie a week for 3 weeks in the middle of the summer. That was all great. I think that these work as movies, and certainly that sets a precedent. That sets a standard, a film. I wonder if this story would have fared better as a limited series, as like an 8-part, because I think it works the best when taken as a whole.
Sure. Well, yeah, you can't really. I mean, the only one that you can watch by itself, and that is even like you would have to shave like 4 minutes off the back end of it, is the first one, because it works the best as like just a slasher movie. But then you have to get rid of the like.
Because I was
the last 5 minutes.
I was almost gonna even say the middle one, because that feels
they're just
like,
all too interconnected with Sarah Fear.
Yeah, the middle one felt like when you consider the first one and the third one, the middle one feels like an odd use of time.
Sure.
It has a slight The Last Jedi where I'm like, this is what we're choosing to do with the second act of this story. It's
one entire movie about going for gas.
It's very focused on one facet. And I think it's aided by the fact that when you think of the trilogy or you think of the series as an homage to genre, that the 70s and late 70s in particular were so pivotal to the horror genre that earns its prominence.
Also, I would say the performances in the second one were quite good, especially Sadie Sink.
Yeah. But remember, it took us a good 45 minutes to care about any of them.
Only because they were all being dicks. Such dicks.
Well, which is also a staple
thing,
of the genre. But I just sort of wonder if maybe this was all chopped up and interspersed. If I would feel...
Oh, okay. I see what you mean.
Like if it was remixed. If it would feel better.
Honestly, that could be really fun. Because it could be like
that season of Arrested Development.
Sure. But just like snippets of all the 1666 stuff at the beginning of every episode. That's like, I think that would have been really cool, actually. Yeah.
Because I thought it was I thought it was bold. The 90s made the most sense. Setting a horror film in the 90s made the most sense. The 70s I got, but I was like, we're going to do a whole film and on top
Not
of
really.
on top of that, we're going to do a whole film on presumably information that we've already got.
Yes,
That was what I thought was bold as
like
well.
we're gonna watch what we already know.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And it did work. A little more than so the whole movie of 1666 does not take place in 1666.
About a little bit more than half.
I would say 3/5.
Yeah.
But in between half and 3/5. I liked the girls in particular, Kiana and
Olivia Scott Welch.
I liked them better in 1666 than I liked them in 1994.
Sure, there was a lot of like attitude in 1994.
I think the 90s angst, which
yeah,
again, staple of the genre, I think it was working at cross purposes for me, and particularly Kiana.
Yeah.
We got a comment on our early thing where it was a fan of ours, or the frequent viewer. I feel so weird.
We've got fans. Buckle up.
Well, we start calling, like, we call Rochelle a Fran.
Yeah.
Because she's like a friend, but a fan.
Friend
yeah.
fan, yeah.
Someone, because I also want to be like, acknowledge them, but it's like, so, okay.
A fan. Thank you.
So embarrassed.
Thank you for being a fan.
They commented and they were like, I'm surprised you kind of glossed over her character. And in particular that she's
mixed for sure.
Mixed, okay.
Yeah.
That they're like, we have a black final girl. And it was like, that's usually something you guys would touch on.
Yeah.
And I just kind of forgot we had a lot of things happening all at once.
Oh yeah, we recorded like a buttload of stuff last weekend. So, but we do appreciate that. I love that that we got that she's black final girl, because it's rare.
Well, and also that at the center of the story is a lesbian romance, and it just felt organic. Like it doesn't feel.
She's a lot of things.
Stunty.
Well, it's in her trivia on IMDb. Portuguese on one side, then Irish, First Nations, and Black Canadian on the other side. Get it, Kiana Madeira.
I think another part of it is that I responded to her so much stronger in this one. Yeah. As Sarah Fear.
Yeah, again, with the like 90s lesbian chip off her shoulder.
The vulnerability.
Way more. Yeah.
I was really into it. And I loved the bonfire party they went to. It had a very Amish thing where it's like
Rumspringa.
Not quite Rumspringa, but it's like we're from Southern Maryland, which is a little bit it's not Amish country the way Pennsylvania is, but it's
we're close enough. Yeah.
And those Amish kids get into trouble.
Oh yeah.
And so it's like I like that notion that like we have a tendency to think of the past as so proper and sanitized. Mm-hmm. And it's like
they're doing drug berries in the woods after curfew.
And I loved that. And it's like
literally all of them too. We got back a bunch of the like actors from the first movie.
I love that. And this is very Stranger Things meets American Horror Story. Yeah. And it did both of them so well. Yeah. And like the fact that all of them were in 1666 is where I was really getting that American Horror Story itch. And it was just it was so cool. I don't know. I can't talk enough about how much I loved it. And I love the fantasy aspect of it. There was a part of me when this started, like I was excited that we were dealing with a witch, but I was also like kind of like, I mean, what's that? It felt limiting, maybe.
Like a real witch?
Yeah, I was like, a witch curse. That feels weird for like a slasher movie.
Well, it turns out not what it is, totally.
It is revealed that there's several reveals, but it is revealed that this is ultimately a pact with the devil.
Right.
And I think the show pulled that off.
Yeah.
Well, introducing the devil into things is ambitious as far as I'm concerned.
Well, sure.
Is that just a me thing, or?
I think, yes, I think some of it is your Catholic background, because
I'm not Catholic, but I went to Catholic school.
Catholic background. Mm-hmm. I don't have any of that, so there's a lot less of that for me to like work through.
So
for me, the devil's very nebulous.
I was gonna say for the average person, is the devil kind of like a boogeyman?
Yeah, I'm just like, oh no, the devil.
When you introduce the devil, the first place my mind goes to is God, and then Jesus and angels, and I'm like, this is setting such a weird precedent for what we've just.
Although to be fair, this is like oh God, what's the word? Well, they're like pilgrims, essentially. So they're deeply religious already. So they already believe in Jesus and stuff.
And it skirted that really well.
But that's, I mean, in that sense, bringing actual Satan or the devil into it does not bother me, because it already is in the thing. But in addition to that, it doesn't bother me because I have no frame of reference and I don't believe hell is real. So
Mhm.
I'm like,
It really sets for me personally, it's a real bomb, like a real grenade to just throw down.
because I think we should also note that it's not just like when you say angels, you don't mean like pretty things with white wings. You imagine the like first.
No, in this context, yes, I imagine pretty thing with white wings, but that's another part of me. I guess how like the devil can mean multiple things.
Yeah, like the Old Testament.
I'm fascinated with biblical accounts of angels because they're bonkers. There's a reason why they're always saying, "Do not be afraid." Anytime you see them,
because they're terrifying.
I just remembered what I was going to actually open up with.
Oh.
In the middle of this movie, there is a line spoken where our hero looks straight into, kind of looking into the camera, but she's talking to her brother. And she just says with severity, with total seriousness, good is evil.
Good is evil.
It's the height.
Round of applause.
It's the best movie I've ever seen. I thought that was so funny.
But she does it well. Like,
not a hint of irony.
None.
I thought that was so funny.
Yeah.
I don't know how to explain it. It's just so Sheriff Good. Yep. You'll notice how in the very first movie or the very first review, I was like, I saw Sheriff Goody Proctor with the devil.
Yeah.
It turns out that the curse is not Sarah Fear. The curse is with the Good family.
Right.
They made a pact with the devil to give their family and the Sunnyvale prosperity. And every generation, presumably, there is this weird ritual.
They like essentially every firstborn son, I thought it was, but how do you guarantee boy? Whatever. Every firstborn makes this pact again to like continue it. You know what it's really like is it's like that season 2 episode of Buffy where it's like the frat boys have that demon in their basement. That's exactly what it is.
And it was a really solid twist. It was a really solid reveal. I personally did get there about 5 minutes before because you guys were like, really? And there was something about it where I was like, I'm pretty good at story structure. And I was like, this is working too well for her.
They're focusing a lot on this hot guy that lives out
Solomon
in the woods
Good.
And his name is Solomon. I'm just like,
and I was like, methinks there is a a game within a game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what's interesting is that evidently the rest of the family members don't know.
At that point, no.
Well, no, I mean, I think in 1994, I think his brother, the mayor, doesn't know.
I do.
You do? Because it seems like it was meant to be confined to the eldest brother, like the eldest child.
I think the mayor's. I think this will continue, and I think we will see the mayor again, or they'll do something entirely different. Because I mean, it ends in the end ?
Yeah, kind of.
Because I would guess that was either who grabbed the book at the end was either the mayor or Nurse Lane in an attempt to bring Ruby Lane back. I don't hate Ruby Lane, but they
I don't really care either.
She was a lot of cilantro on. She was a lot of cilantro on this.
Not my favorite thing.
So we spend the last 2/3 or the last third of the movie back in 1994 in a way that like I desired that conclusion. I didn't know that we were going to get that.
Yeah.
I thought it was fantastic. We have a late in the game, much needed, much appreciated MVP in the character of Martin.
Yeah, he's in
all 3.
Yeah, and he's like definitely in the first one because we like see him around in the background.
Well, he's the janitor at the,
and he's the one that gives the little brother his business card, and so he's like, if you ever need me.
I was so invested in Martin. I was so worried that they were going to kill him.
I was really worried about him and Gillian. I thought they both were goners for sure.
I could see her falling on that sword.
Like fulfilling her destiny or whatever.
I could see her doing that.
I'm glad she didn't.
No, and their plan was pretty solid.
It was super solid. I was like shocked at how solid it was. Because so often in slasher movies like this, they're like, well, we're just going to like hide and then like jump out at him. And it's like, this was like very well thought out.
There were layers, and we get this really cool montage where, because the killers are coming after the blood of the whichever particular one is cursed at that moment.
I think it's still the girlfriend, Sam. I think it's still Sam.
Well, it was Dina in this one.
Yeah, there was
So whichever particular
whatever.
curse of the moment. And they mixed it in with like paint, with like neon paint. And they squirted all the killers with the bloody paint. So they all just like converge on each other.
Yep. That
That was a lot of fun. I could have used like a full minute more of that. Yeah. It was surprisingly effective and satisfying. And there was something about this entire endeavor that I was just sort of shocked and delighted.
Yeah.
And ultimately, I've made my peace with some of the more gratuitous elements, in particular. Okay, going through the.
Oh yes. Oh,
I've made my peace with some of the gruesome elements.
I thought you were going to talk about.
Oh, I was going to. If you are sensitive to this sort of thing, there is a dog. We don't see it happen, but we are introduced to what's his name, Mary Boy?
Yes.
To a very sweet prairie dog. And then his dead body is fished out of the well. And there's also
And then this idiot woman shrieks, "Our water is poisoned! Our water's poisoned!" I couldn't do that again if I tried. I didn't think that.
We're in Frontierland. Just thinking that needed to be conveyed. Oh, it was Big Thunder Mountain there.
I'm gonna cry and mess with my makeup.
Well, I legitimately thought you were gonna go into the pig. Was it Sam's mother? Was it the?
I don't remember.
The actress was like, my time to shine. Oh my God. I don't know why. So there's a sow. There's a large pig who has a bunch of babies and then eats them all.
That's also terrible. Yeah.
Sarah Fear kills it with an axe. More dead kids, but
Yeah, but like hellishly dead, like eyes gouged out in the church by the pastor.
And we were told that in the first movie, and I didn't remember.
No,
I mean, I was shocked to see it unfold.
Yeah.
A nice balance, because like I said, if it were just Kate in the bread slicer, I would have been like, that was way too much. It breaks the whole thing. But each movie had at least two things that were shocking and or horrific.
Yeah.
And it really, I don't know, it was fun. I feel weird like describing horror and carnage that way, but it's kind of fun.
These aren't also not the first horror movies that we found fun. The Final Girls is super fun. There's tons of movies like this that are fun.
I envy.
Scream 3 is the funnest of the bunch.
I envy the 16 and 17-year-olds who have this like in slumber parties.
And like where this will lead them back to Scream. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. So they do defeat the curse. I love, it was so fascinating that like witch mark path underground is just through I was like, oh my God, could you imagine, first of all, being like the richest family in a small town, Sunnyvale, and then having a like secret passage into the mall?
That's all you want in life.
Now, let alone when I was like a teenager, but
can't do underground pathways in Florida. It doesn't work out. It's too wet. Also,
it would just be an empty mall. But no, we have nice malls here. Yeah, so they go into Sunnyvale. I loved the footprints because I didn't understand at first. I thought they were following footprints. And then I was like, oh, it's footprints on white carpet. Things aren't perfect in Sunnyvale anymore.
Yep.
We had resolution for the characters for Nurse Lane. I am a little worried not worried. That was weird. So all the names erased off of the rocks.
Yeah.
But not from history. All those people's reputations are still...
And all those people are still dead.
And slandered through...
Although it did seem like Kate and Simon and Maya Hawke's character, they were like able to... Heather, they were able to like sort of bring that back. Because at the end, it was like in memoriam for those three. So it's like they did still break this cycle, you know? And also they have no proof about the people in the past. So it's like, what are you going to do? Oh yeah, God. Oh, getting her hand chopped off was like a totally different thing.
Ah!
Yeah.
It was so.
Because Solomon did it to her.
He like goes through the hand.
Yeah.
And then she's fighting him with it like flopping.
And just like rips
And then
it
just
apart.
pulls it off. Ah!
Yeah. So it wasn't entirely what I thought, but it was more of the type of thing where it's like, I'm laying a curse because you have betrayed me. Like everybody will know that it was you someday.
Yeah, because that was one of my things going into this is I was having a hard time thinking of Seraphir as malevolent.
Yeah.
Remember, I think I said that.
Mhm.
And I was like, she's a victim. Why would she curse these people? And we found, it was so good because she was protecting.
She didn't curse the town, and she was also protecting Hannah/Sam. And so it was more of like she was making this huge sacrifice for love. And in doing so, she was like, also, fuck the good family. Yeah. It was great. It was like so well plotted, really good. Again, like we mentioned in the first one, I'm so glad that like these 3 movies exist in a row in the middle of July.
It was fun. It was just fun. I'm thumbs up all around.
Plus now we're done, so we can stop traumatizing Rachel once per week.
Yeah, okay. So I did watch, it was a special feature, Back to Kate and the Bread Slicer. I was more correct. That would be very difficult to do.
Well, sure, difficult.
A human, because you said that they did it with the watermelon,
Yeah.
and they did. Weirdly, the watermelon is what went through the easiest, but they put one of those forensic, and basically, it made quick work of the soft tissue.
Yeah,
but once it hit
the bone,
it was scraping, but it would take a lot of effort.
But I mean, supernatural. Dead killing monster. I mean, whatever.
It wouldn't happen.
Whatever. It happened in the movie.
Well, hopefully you have enjoyed our conversations, and hopefully you enjoy following us and listening to us talk about stuff. If you want more of that, we have a Patreon where we are currently covering season 7 of RuPaul's Drag Race because.
Yeah.
And then you can check back for more. You can head on over to our website at swimwatching.com, and that links out to a whole bunch of stuff and our back catalog. And also, do you want to follow us anywhere?
Yeah, Twitter @SoI'mWatching or Instagram @SoI'mWatching the show, and that stuff all also links out from the website. SoI'mWatching.com.
Woo!
Yeah.